This video is part of Making Missouri, a year-long look at the 200th anniversary of Missouri statehood. And when it comes to symbols of statehood, a state capitol building is unrivaled in power. Its daily function is basic and mundane. It provides a place for our state government to operate. But as our lawmakers and other citizens move about inside, they're surrounded by powerful symbols of Missouri's triumphs, challenges, and ideals. The Capitol building works as a temple of sorts to the state, and it's steeped in layers of symbolism. Nothing is accidental about every inch of its design. And this holds true for the majority of U.S. Capitol buildings across our country. When Missouri first became a state, the seat of government was in an informal building near the St. Louis riverfront. But between 1821 and 1826, it was moved to St. Charles, and it was housed in the Missouri Hotel. It was then decided, though, that the state would be better served if our state government was in a central location. And surveyors found the perfect spot in what would become Jefferson City. The first Capitol building here was only 40 by 60 feet and was also the home to the governor. But by the mid-1800s, state leaders across the country began to embrace the idea that democracy and power could be purely expressed in Capitol architecture. Missouri, like many other states, then built a much larger and grander Capitol building. That Capitol building served its role until 1911, when it burned in a spectacular fire. And it was then that the building you see behind me was designed and constructed. By the early 20th century, states had almost all adopted the model of a monumental building with a dome as the symbol of democracy and power. The building dominates the Jefferson City skyline, no matter which direction you're coming from. It has a 260-foot dome and has over 500,000 square feet of floor space. It not only houses the governmental offices and spaces, but it's also a museum dedicated to Missouri history, and it features artworks that are meant to inspire future generations. So let's talk about the ways that architecture is used to represent statehood ideals. Some historians consider skyscrapers and state capitals as America's contribution to architectural history. And while a skyscraper is born of function and structure, a capitol exists for symbolism. Around the world, buildings like churches, temples, and castles can be put in that same category. The building behind me, like the majority of state capitol buildings, is expressly classical with a capital C. It makes references to the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C., as well as visual references to Greek and Roman temples. This idea was introduced much earlier by Thomas Jefferson, who felt that by using these architectural forms, we were connecting ourselves directly to both the birth of democracy in Greece and to the power of the Roman Empire. The House and the Senate chambers are on opposite sides of the dome, but they're of equal size, which symbolizes their equal weight in the government. But it's not just the architectural style that symbolizes statehood, but also details that refer to Missouri statehood specifically. For example, the leaves on the exterior columns are designed after local plants, not Greek ones. And the statue on the top is a Roman goddess, but it is Ceres, the goddess of agriculture. The interior walls are filled with paintings depicting important moments in Missouri history. The grounds include fountains and statues that show both ideals and historic moments. For example, there is one fountain dedicated to celebrating our artistic heritage, and also one dedicated to the contributions to science. You can also find lots of flowering dogwood trees, which is the state tree of Missouri. In combining these things, architecture, art, and landscape, the building can exist as a symbol of the idealism of the early 20th century democracy and of Missouri's place in that narrative. We'd like to thank our members, donors, and the ZMD Tax District. Check out our website and social media channels to find out more content from this project.